looks like a Sarlacc eating 1,000 chili dogs. Ugh.
Your chart.
This is my chart? You're saying this is my... Oh, no. Oh, hey there, you scruffy nerf herders. Some results just came in, and anyway, my name is Dr. Jordan Breeding. Okay, yeah, I see it at the top of the chart now. Great, but you wouldn't believe how many people spell my first name with an O instead of an A. Like, nobody spells it that way, and if you do, you're probably a terrorist. But whatever, welcome to another episode of Your Brain on Crack, the show where I talk about Star Wars and have to avoid the internet for years after, and the only show on crack that features sexy Leia scenes. Hot. Today, I diagnose. Okay, right off the top, I will admit that millions of nerds are pretty much fine with the Star Wars sequels. It's among the hardcore fans and the professional movie watchers that the galactic war rages. Most of them either believe, yeah, it was pretty okay, or prison would be too good for these b****s. Personally, it doesn't really matter to me too much either way. I was always a fan of the novels, at least until Disney realized there were more books than they could handle.
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Still, I enjoy the movies, old and new, but I do think there's one basic, easily avoided story problem that kind of doomed the whole sequel trilogy from being truly great. And it happened in literally the first 5 seconds. Watching A New Hope's title crawl, we immediately know the political situation in this massive universe we're stepping into. Bad guys rule the galaxy, and they're opposed by a comparatively weak faction of rebels. It's simple, but that setup informs the entire plot of the original trilogy. Through heroism, the Force, and the ability to actually hit what they shoot at, the rebels grow from this tiny band of desperate guerrilla fighters into a galaxy-spanning coalition sporting an entire armada commanded by fresh people. Even the admittedly pretty stupid opening crawl for The Phantom Menace at least paints a clear picture of a declining civilization falling into conflict. I mean, it literally says, turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. Plus, we learned that they're midichlorians, so you know things are pretty bad.
They live inside me.
Now compare both of those to the situation presented in the Force Awakens opening crawl. Wait, doesn't that render everything that happened in the previous trilogy totally pointless?
Let the past die.
If you're brand new to this series, this has to read like complete nonsense. How are you a resistance if you have the support of the Republic? That's like Rage Against the Machine opening for the State of the Union address. Mixed messages.
I'm the spy.
What?
But if you are a fan, it's even worse. So the Empire isn't dead. They're just rebranded as the First Order. Oh, and the Rebellion, it's still a thing, but it's not the Republic, but it kind of is.
What I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
As far as I can tell, the First Order and the Republic are at peace, but the Republic still funds a terrorist organization to assault the First Order by proxy. So does the Republic publicly denounce the actions of the Resistance, or just kind of pretend it's not happening?
See through you. We can.
Whatever the First Order is doing, it's apparently not sinister enough for the Republic to directly challenge it, but it is bad enough that they need to sick space Al-Qaeda on them.
We made it.
Which makes Leia Osama bin Laden of space, which isn't where I would take her story. Does the First Order directly control any systems, or do they simply float through space and issue stern commands in British accents?
Supremely.
If they're an actual sovereign government, aren't the Republican resistance essentially committing war crimes? And if the First Order somehow isn't a functioning government, are they space Al-Qaeda? Because if that's true, why can't the Republic fight them directly? Somebody is a space terrorist, damn it. I'm gonna find out who. Also, like, how is the First Order funded if they're not an actual government? Are they an Amazon competitor? Are there sick tax breaks for super weapons? Do they run a death stick pyramid scheme?
You wanna buy some death sticks?
This isn't about just nitpicking the fictional universe, it's about how this confusing setup struggles to create clear character motivations. For instance, the First Order proves their evilness by obliterating the Republic's capital system, but why in the hell would they even do that? The two factions aren't at war, and the Republic presumably spans the entire galaxy, right? And yet they blow up one system in a galaxy with 3.2 million of them, and somehow it effectively ends the Republic. That's like if in World War II, a Nazi chucked a hand grenade into the White House vegetable garden and America was like, well, boys, suppose we hang it up and give this here sauerkraut a try. Does the Republic not have any armies or politicians, freaking anything, stationed anywhere else in the entire galaxy? Oh my God. What happened to Senator Binks?
Missa bustin' with happiness.
Because it's not like the Republic should go into hiding or worry about Starkiller Base firing again. The Resistance immediately blew it up. We just never get any sense of the size or scope or threat of any of these factions. And that's crucial for a movie like this, which depends on us knowing the dramatic stakes for all of these big action set pieces. Like, how big of a deal is it that the First Order loses a dreadnought at the beginning of The Last Jedi? Did they have a bunch of dreadnoughts, or was that their only one? Similarly, does it matter that the Resistance lost a bunch of bombers taking it out? Poe thinks it's worth it, but Leia doesn't. And honestly, they're probably both wrong. In The Rise of Skywalker, it turns out that the Empire had like 1 million tricked out Star Destroyers hidden away for no apparent reason, and the Resistance has access to 1 million ships of their own parked around the galaxy just waiting to be inspired by Lando Calrissian's sexy arthritic dance moves, or whatever. So how am I supposed to care about a couple dozen bombers here or dreadnought there? I mean, it'd be like if The Empire Strikes Back began with Darth Vader on the bridge of one of his 36 other Death Stars. Now, you may be thinking, excuse me, Dr. Breeding, but none of this nerdy backstory stuff really matters. After all, this is about the characters and their journey and the truly uncomfortable makeout scenes.
No.
But stories like this have to have all three. It's different if the story is set in the real world where everybody already knows what it means to defeat the Nazis or win the World Series or quit your job and build a meth lab.
You wanna buy some death sticks?
But in a fantasy universe, everything has to be established from scratch. The world you create doesn't have to be simple, but it does have to be clear. The way modern blockbusters are made, it's easy to just skip this part altogether. It feels like they start with a series of huge sequences they know they won the trailer. Oh, the sky is full of freaking Star Destroyers! And then they just fill in the rest later with reshoots or a couple of throwaway lines in the novelization.
You can't make the Kessel Run in less than 20 parsecs.
Watch me.
But rich backstory and world building is what helps these stories take root in your mind. It's the reason that fans have remained obsessed with Star Wars after 4 decades. Look, I wasn't gonna say this, but you know the cantina music they play on Tatooine? It's called Jizz. Seriously, look it up. That is what makes Star Wars great. There's this whole universe where freaky aliens covered in hair kick back with a glass of blue milk, throw on the hottest jizz, and bitch about the current state of galactic political affairs.
So this is how liberty dies.
But without some kind of clear vision, you get 2 directors in a tug of war, each trying to undo the creative decisions of the previous one and falling back on nostalgia when something doesn't work. Wait, with Snoke dead, who's the villain now? Not Kylo. We've already got a redemption thing going on with him, so... what if we bring back Palpatine, but this time he has a podcast?
Look what you have made.
We could talk about what lesson Hollywood will take from this, like maybe spend 20 minutes writing a story before filming next time. But let's be honest, these movies still made billions of dollars. They're not gonna change just because an actual doctor told them they should.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
All right, so yeah, I accused Leia of being Osama bin Laden of space. I tried to not say jizz, so I guess that's pretty much it. I guess I'm gonna head out to my underground bunker to avoid Star Wars commenters for the next decade, but join us next appointment from my bunker when we diagnose which Star Trek captains have the juiciest behinds. Sounds great. Good work, guys. Thanks. Make sure to talk to Kathy on your way out to pick up some drugs for your rat ghoul plague. Oh crap, this is still my chart. Oh, hey guys. Just kind of hang out in my bunker, hiding from the nerds. I don't know when I'll be able to do another video, but until then, you know, subscribe, ding the bell, ring the notification bell, and yeah, hopefully we'll get you another one soon. Until then, I'll tune all night, baby.